Hi, I'm Amanda Wood here in the Swamp with Cody Jones to wrap up this very interesting 36-30 triple overtime win against the Kentucky Wildcats. Started off really rough for quarterback Jeff Driscoll. He was just 7 for 20 through the first half, but ended up 24 for 41. Not the Driscoll we saw last week. Cody, what did he struggle with?
You know, last week they opened the game and started throwing the ball a little bit to the side and just trying to get into easy throws to ease into things a little bit. That wasn't the case tonight. They started trying to stretch the field, going deep to Quentin Dunbar, Demarcus Robinson. He had guys down the field that were open and just plain overthrew them, and that's something Will Muschamp was pretty frustrated about afterwards. Driscoll was as well. They really need to hit those plays and be able to stretch the defense away like that, especially if they're going to lean on the running game as much as they did. They could see a lot of 8-man boxes going forward if they don't do that. So they've got to be able to hit some plays down the field, and he just wasn't able to do that tonight, especially in the early going. I think he played a little bit better in the second half, but he just wasn't very accurate in the first half and really hurt this offense and certainly slowed them in the first half.
Story of the night, Demarcus Robinson, wide receiver. He tied the school record with 15 receptions in one game. The last time that a Gator had more than 10 receptions in a game was Percy Harvin in 2008. Cody, why was Demarcus Robinson able to come through so clutch in this game?
He was really everywhere for this offense and a really, really important part of this thing. I mean, we saw a little bit last week of what he can do. Obviously, had over 120 yards, a long touchdown catch. He's going to be a big part of this thing going forward. And I think that was really clear tonight when Driscoll was pressured or hurried at all. That's who he was looking for at all times. And there was a big point in the game. That's where the ball was going, and that's kind of, I think, what you're going to see a lot more of going forward. He is by far the most talented receiver on this team. I don't think there's any question about that. And Kurt Roper's made him a priority tonight. I mean, last week he wasn't really a starter. Tonight he's on there he's on the field from the first play of the game. So they've made him a much bigger priority in this offense going forward. And frankly, they have to, because if not, the other options at receiver just aren't as good as him. And he's one of the more complete receivers they've had here in a long time. And I think he showed that pretty well tonight.
Yeah, and the Florida offense relied a lot on the run game, mainly Matt Jones. Muschamp said after the game he was really pleased with the run game. Cody, how important was that run in this game tonight?
It was big. You know, they leaned on him, especially at the end of the game there. You saw him and Taylor were pretty evenly splitting carries the first three quarters. Things get into the fourth quarter, things get into overtime. Jones was the guy out there. I think that's pretty interesting going forward, because we've seen a lot of really positive things from Kelvin Taylor, especially at the end of last year. You saw him coming on quite a bit. Tonight it kind of made it seem like they trust Jones a little bit more out there for whatever reason. So I think that's what you're probably going to see more of going forward. He's the guy, obviously, that punched it in from the 1 yard line and really throughout the entire overtime and fourth quarter, that's who they were going to. So he played pretty well. He ran really hard, though. I think that was the biggest thing. He's a tall guy, can kind of run with his pads a little high at times, but I thought he ran pretty tough tonight, broke a lot of tackles, and looked really good doing it.
Well, Florida travels to Alabama next week to take on the Crimson Tide. They're 1-0 in conference play, and they're continuing that SEC action, and we'll have you covered right here for all your Gator sports updates. So keep it locked. For Cody Jones, I'm Amanda Wood.